We're building the world tour. Like, that's what this is.
You just need trustworthy people
Yes.
who have your back.
Yes.
He's had to literally walk me through becoming a singer again and becoming an artist again, and like asking myself, like, can I repair my relationship with music?
For people that are just now finding out about your show on the 21st, what can they expect when they come?
When you come to our show, we're just reminding you that you can do it. You can manifest whatever you want.
Do people also just not even know what make it looks like?
People are going to jail and they're going to die. And then Gen Z is going to fix it.
Woo! Let's go.
Amen, and so it is.
Welcome to the Reno Live podcast. My name is Joel.
My name is Brian.
Mortez is a symphonic rock, pop writing team and band based out of LA, California.
They have been featured on SiriusXM, MTV, VH1, CMT, Paramount Plus, and Hulu. Their new single, Sirens, was just featured on 102.7 KISS FM. Please welcome Mortez!
Hey.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you guys for having us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're from Reno. Born and raised. You're here now playing a show, and you mentioned the possibility of relocating for a short period of time here.
I think, okay, so I met Brett doing a show for one of my girlfriends. There's a lot of female singers out in LA. We all go through the same shit. Shout out to all the girls still doing the damn thing in LA. It's extremely difficult because it's still very similar to Y2K, where like it's very male dominated and men love to like put women in fucked up situations. So for me, like my first deal was with Q Prime. Mutt Lange did the album, and I was all over the radio doing shows everywhere. But it was like very toxic just having like three men running my shit. They didn't care about me emotionally or if I was okay. You know, like I had to like find friends to come with me on the road. It was very dangerous. And in the end, I didn't make any money. Sure. So it's like you have this famous producer and like they're quote unquote like helping you get your name out there. That happened to me 2 more times over a span of like 10 years. So by the time I met Brett, I was like fully zoned in on my podcast. I wanted to quit music because it's exhausting. Knowing about like contracts and publishing, like number one, like having an entertainment attorney, having a manager, like if you don't have a team, you're so
Screwed.
Yeah.
So when I met Brett, I was like, we can date because I love you, but I don't want to do music.
Right, you didn't want to associate that with your relationship.
I didn't want to ruin our relationship.
Yeah.
But then he would be on the piano and, you know, it's really difficult when someone's a great pianist or like, you know, just every instrument, guitar, whatever. And I'm like, how do I not have a writing session right now?
What song did you play on piano to win her heart over?
I
You just
improvise
play.
for about like 4 hours at a time. So
He just plays. And it's like mad genius, crazy shit. Like,
yeah.
So then how are you approaching it differently this time?
so he has an amazing family. And I know for him, it was more of like, I want to be doing this by myself, on my own, independence, like, needed the separation with that. And I'm like, let me explain why it is so precious that you have these family members that would die for you and do anything for you and support you. Because in the music industry, if you look at the titans, like Taylor fucking Swift, her mom and dad have been with her since day one. And it's a business, and she's a congresswoman, and nobody fucks with her. And she'll say your first and last name and put the documents out on Twitter. Like, she doesn't give any fucks.
Sure.
So she's like, you know, there's maybe 10 women that have the balls to do what she's been doing. And for me, it's like, if I'm ever going to step foot back into this industry, we need to be protected and we need to do it right. And so right now we've been a brand for like maybe 6 months, and the emails are coming in from the labels, from independent labels, like every day.
PR
and
companies
it's like,
and all the, yeah.
right. And instead of, and artists, like, you can be excited and like be proud of yourselves for that stuff. Sure. But also it's like you have to constantly ask yourself, what do I want and what am I worth? Do you want a distribution deal? Yes. Do you want $10 million for tour? Yes. Like, what is the bar?
can you start a little bit on at the beginning, because so many people, the masses and then artists, have no idea the first thing about the music industry.
Yeah.
So are very easily taken advantage of. So can you kind of give a little bit of a background on maybe just how it works leading into how to start protecting yourself? And go in as detailed as you want or don't want to.
I mean,
each their
don't
own.
come for me. Like, A&R people, executives. I feel like everyone that we used to look up to or think were the power players are now all going to jail or like connected to the Diddy case.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing in Hollywood too, you know?
So we are literally watching the industry in real time crumble.
Yeah.
We're talking to a lady right now, Brianna, and she's been like Wall Street for like 20, 30 years or whatever. And she was like, I'm done with Wall Street. I want to take my knowledge and come in and just burn this shit down. So we there's a new era coming for the music industry. 360 deals are done. You know, like artists are smart now. Independent artists are smart and they're pissed. Everyone is complaining about we're not getting the money we deserve for streams. I mean, literally the other day, you logged into DistroKid. And one of my cover songs has 8 million and something streams. And like, I can't even say out loud what that equated to. It's like really nothing.
Right.
So we're still, and Chappell Roan, like using her time to accept her Grammy Award to be like, but we're living under the poverty line to give you guys a show.
Right.
And so labels are making $72 million a day right now. What the fuck? Where is all that money going?
What is a 360 deal?
It means they own the masters and the publishing. So they'll give you like, you know, like a small 360 deal with like Interscope Records is like $2 million, right? But that they also cover expenses for music videos and press and like tour, whatever. But you owe them all of that money.
Is that what Taylor Swift went through with all of her like first couple?
I mean, that's what
albums to
most
get
every
to-
artist-
Like she
But not
re-recorded?
necessarily, because Big Machine was always her
Okay.
and her parents. So she always had a hand in the business side of it.
I got you.
What happened with Taylor is Scooter Braun was managing her and purchased her album under her nose without her knowing for what, $300 million? But he just sold it back to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that just got cleared up.
I think the misconception that most artists have is, okay, you get a record deal. So say, you know, $2 million, but you don't get that $2 million.
No.
That's a
No.
loan essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
It's
everything
100%.
that you make until that $2 million is paid back is going to the label.
Is theirs.
Right.
And that's why it's like when you see those new artists, they get a deal and they buy this big house and then you never see them again.
Yeah.
What
so
happened
true.
to that person? Oh,
They
went
do buy a
broke.
house. They
Yeah.
always buy a fucking house.
And then
It's
they
like-
make a music video in it.
right.
So then, if there's a new wave of, would you say like Napster and like that period of time was the start of the end for the old regime?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's such a tired conversation. I think like the real question is how do you monetize music?
Right now.
And I
In
think
today's
it's
world,
like
yeah.
ticket sales, yes. Tour, yes. But like they're, you know, when you look at TikTok influencers or whatever, it's like, I mean, I guess it's always been endorsement deals too. It's like you have to make money every other way you can aside from the music. So my suggestion to a musician, which this really sucks because musicians just want to play music. But you're a brand and you're a business. And it's like
You have to make it entertaining for people to watch.
No.
Not
I'm
even
saying
that.
I'm saying how do you make money? Like whoever is managing you or representing you better fucking know how to do that.
Right.
And you're now branded and what are you selling? You know what I mean? Like aside from your music.
Right.
Like
right.
lipsticks or
Yeah.
cover shirts or
Merch,
yeah,
whatever, your
it's like-
store, your shop, or are you hosting a podcast? Like a lot of artists are doing that too to try to like make that extra revenue or whatever. But like that, like sound off in the comments. How do you monetize music?
It's interesting. This is a super valuable conversation. I'm happy to have. We had a local band, a relatively successful local country band on a few weeks ago, and the entire conversation was sort of around this topic of like treating this as a job.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Putting it in
Your brand.
everything that comes around. Yeah, building your brand, and what you're doing too. You're in LA at the moment, but you're coming here to build excitement around your brand. And that's like exactly what they were saying. A lot of artists don't get. Like you have to leave town and go and, because so many small artists, they play 3 times a week at the local coffee shop.
Yeah.
And they make like
It's
25 bucks.
oversaturation of
Yeah.
yourself in
So
the same market and the same pool.
And it's not going to make you not like anywhere. It's not going to take you to someplace else. It's like if you're playing cover gigs, you don't get to be your band. You don't get to be your brand. You're just the person there to play music for the evening. You're not the event if you're just doing
Well,
that.
and like being a session player in LA, I mean, you're playing for some of the biggest names, but it's like at the end of the day, what is the end goal? That's you're on stage and getting paid like whatever. And it really is just like you're flexing that you're in LA. Great. Like, and so the beauty for us is we know like the wall that you hit. For me, I know too, being an influencer, being like the conventional girl that you get invited to events or whatever, like you can promote it in any way you want, right? But like to actually
Monetize it.
right, to succeed, to be truly successful, you don't need to be in Los Angeles. You just don't.
But
You
can
don't
learn.
have to be in LA, guys.
But
What
you can
is-
learn a lot from there.
what is that end goal? Like, how do you define, for the majority of artists, for yourselves too, like, what is the end goal?
I think when you go to LA, all the hot spots, right? Like the Roxy and Whiskey and all the places that people want to play. Like Brett and I have played every single venue however many times, right? And you see so many talented people, especially in Nashville too. You guys were talking about Nashville earlier. How do you take a talented person and break them, right? And so it's kind of like what you were saying. Once you do all of those venues and still nothing is happening, then what? And it's a business plan. And so for us, it's like if we're going to have like a full-blown light show with pyro and set design and dancers, orchestra, whatever, like let's come here and build it, and then we'll go to the UK or Australia or China or wherever and like tour, So I don't want to build that in LA because we're talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars of a difference to build something like that. It's so expensive. Kids are paying to play in LA.
It's so interesting. One of the reasons why we started Reno Live was because we felt the Reno Live music scene needed a little bit of help growing. Brian mentioned how he travels all over the country to go to shows because a lot of the big bands don't come here.
Yeah.
And me being from LA, you can see any band you want because they're going to go through LA on a tour. Yep. And so it's so interesting to hear because it makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Because it is a growing city here.
It is.
And it's a very artsy city. We have, Burning Man's an hour and a half out of here every year. We have a lot of art in the
Art
city.
Town,
Yeah.
all July.
There's
Food truck
tons of sculptures.
Well, and not
That's
to
so
mention
interesting.
Vegas and like all the surrounding big venues that are like outside of
Here.
Reno,
And yeah, Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's amazing. And I would love to hear more about your experience like touring. But yeah, I think if you're a signed artist and you're doing like a 60 city tour, like, yeah, everyone goes to LA. But if you're living in LA and you're not signed, it's like, don't waste your money trying to look
Sure.
cool.
Sure.
Because, you can play at the Whiskey, but you have to pay them upfront of $250 to perform there. And then you have to sell 25 to 30 tickets. And if you don't, you have to pay the rest of a $500 deposit. And then you don't get to play.
Sure.
So like these like local or anyone who just wants to make it in music, right? Quote unquote make it. They obviously we discussed a lot about in previous podcasts, like people just don't really know where to start. But do people also just not even know what make it looks like? You just want to I just want to make it. I just want to be, you just look up to Taylor Swift, right? You're not really picking any aspects out of her brand, but you're just like, I just want to make it. And do you just kind of feel like people coming up, especially down in the LA scene, people have just no idea what make it as a musician, as a career, even is.
I mean, I feel like everyone has their own making it, because there's been lots
Right.
of...
It's a very loose term.
Yeah, because
subjective. Yeah.
it's like I've had a lot of those kind of conversations out there, and it's like, what does making it mean to you? And like somebody's just like, most commonly it would be to just be able to survive playing music, you know, like own a house and have children and not have to be under the poverty line, you know,
just
because
live within your means and
Well,
have a steady income from it.
What it sounds like you're describing, and I think what you're getting at as far as trying to inform other artists on how to go, is this is how you make a living at your music. And there's other ways to make money besides just the songs themselves, but around your brand and there's merchandise and there's other things. But because you can survive and you can have a full-time job and then play twice a week, and it's like you're, you know,
if that's
you're
up
doing
to
it,
you,
but
then
that's probably not someone's
Yeah.
end goal.
I mean, yeah, it's
No.
like,
I mean, the first thing I made him do was register for a publishing company. So, children, listen. When you're registering a song on ASCAP or BMI, there's 2 number IDs that you need to have. It's your writer ID and your publisher ID. A lot of artists don't realize that the publisher ID is where the money is. And if you don't have a publishing company, you're not getting paid.
Right.
So we did that with him, and we were like logging in to check in splits all the time. And it's so funny because when we started Mortez, we immediately signed to a little sync company for like TV and film, which is another way you guys can make money, is like through sync. But we like, and I sign in and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And they like added all of their shit onto one of our songs without telling us. And I'm like, this is why you have to know how to do this and like check on your splits and your publishing.
and make
Because
sure...
they're stealing percentage from
I
you.
mean, it's insane.
And make sure
they
your
think
lawyer's
that you
on
just
music.
don't know. Literally, they just think, oh, they'll never see this.
Do you think it's worth even smaller artists to get a manager?
Depends. I mean, if they're booking shows and that's good for them, no.
I mean, even if you like have 5 homies that want to like make money together, I think it's just finding the right energy.
Okay.
It's like you have to have someone that will fight for you. And with his parents, I'm like, y'all are learning today. Like, we're giving you a crash course because they are amazing.
You just need
it's-
trustworthy people who have your
Yes.
back.
Yes.
How do you even go about finding that in such
It's,
a strange industry?
I never did
Yeah.
until Brett. I never did. It was just so many awful situations. You know, great advice, like mentors here and there throughout along the way, but
But nobody like completely looking out after your best interests.
No.
Like watching your moves and really
I always
guiding you.
wanted a woman, you know, and I just never found the right girl, because that's hard too. Like women working with other women is the whole fucking thing. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, pray.
Yeah.
It is kind of the wheel of chance, huh? Like
Oh, yeah.
all these pieces coming together.
And it's like, yeah, because I made tons of friends there, but like to, I don't know, trust them to like build
Help
a
you.
brand. It's like it's very self-serving out there. So it's like, even if you're like just jamming along with friends and making stuff, it's still whose name is going to go on the song, you know? It's
Right.
like it's as collaborative as it can be when everyone's trying to make money for themselves,
Right.
you know, unless you're like a band.
Right.
Like we are now.
There are good people
Oh,
in the
they're
music
great.
industry.
Yeah, of
There
course.
are. And we literally, I mean, on our vision board, it's like we want the best mentors. We want to work with, you know, he has his list of composers and like venues, and you just have to like know exactly who do you want to work with. We also want to win a Grammy. I don't know if any of you guys know how to win one, but we do. Like, you have to register to be a voting member.
And you need 3 people to
Endorsers.
endorse you. That
And
are
then you have
already
to
a part of
submit
it.
your music to be voted on. Lana Del Rey last year said she did not know how to submit her music, which is why she had never won a fucking Grammy. I'm like,
Or even
this
nominated.
is Lana Del Rey, people. Like,
Is it a little bit like hush hush, or like people that have the knowledge pull the ladder up?
It's
like,
like
do you,
gatekept,
like
yeah.
gatekeepers.
is it that people don't know what's going on because just no one's told them, or is it because the information is being held close to the vest?
you know
Both.
what? I think it's just so intimidating. I think that artists are just so overwhelmed and just trying to do what's right in front of their face, which is get the songs done. What is my image? What is my identity? Like, that alone
Where can we play this song live?
can be so
And make a
like
dollar.
yeah, I mean, it can cause PTSD. You have to be a strong savage to like really be a persona, and I think that they forget that it is a business.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of artists they don't want to be business people,
Right.
You know,
No.
Right.
They just want to
But
play their music.
if
But
Yeah.
I mean, then
you
you'll
want-
just be that. You know, you'll just
Right,
be a
exactly.
live band playing every once in a while.
And maybe that's
you know?
enough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to understand that if you want this to be your livelihood, you have to
Yeah.
you have to be informed on the business side and become a little bit more savvy.
It's so like a pageant, like, or like a dance competition. Like, my mom ran 3 dance studios. I grew up competing as a dancer, and it's so similar. It's like the popular dance studios are probably going to win first overall. And like with Grammys, it's like, how involved are you? What are your relationships with the voting members? Like, it's so funny, but that is such a huge part of it. Like, Best New Artist, I'm sure all of us can complain about who's nominated for that. You know, it's like we could do a better job with who's getting nominated, but
But they're the ones winning the popularity contest.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know, but like in the industry, like not even with the people. It's just like in the industry and who's got the most planted numbers
Yeah.
because they have the biggest deals. It's just like, oh,
and
great.
not to mention that like nobody really cares about award shows anymore. So that's like dead.
Sure.
Like there was the, what was it, the
AMAs. Or
AMAs or something that just happened. And I guess like none of the artists that won were even there.
Oh,
And it like nobody knew. I didn't know about it. Nobody knew about it. And it was just like somebody on Instagram was like, so these happened 3 days ago. And I was like, oh.
But no, you're a perfect example of an artist that just loves the music. Because, of course, me being the psychotic woman coming into his life and being like,
And making something of myself
we need
because
to
of it.
check, yeah, we need to check all these boxes, motherfucker. Like, he was not concerned about a Grammy. He could have cared less. And I'm like, I'm here for redemption. Like, we are winning fucking Grammys. Because I'm pissed. I'm so mad. And it's like, oh, okay, all right, we know how to do this. I should have done this 10 years ago. Like, but you know,
That's a nice fire to have under you, though, in one sense.
some
And you just
days.
need the right composer sometimes.
What do you think that future is for these award shows? Because I feel the same thing. Like 10 years ago, I cared about the Oscars.
Yeah.
I don't care about the Oscars anymore.
Okay, here's what I have to say. For example, Chris Stapleton just went to like the Supreme Court
Of
over
Grammys.
Beyonce winning Country Album of the Year. He was like, she is not a country singer. She does not belong in our world. This is not okay. And he like took it to court. So now we just saw on Instagram yesterday.
Yeah, they have new categories for new or like best or traditional country.
Oh my gosh! So it's just gonna give it like more subgenres, and then people are gonna start tuning out even more
Right.
after that.
I don't know.
I feel
Here's
like
what
there's
I
a
want to
new one.
manifest. I want to manifest the honor and importance of the Grammys. And my hope is that it does become something where artists can really be honored for their work.
Right.
Like a scholastic award. Like,
Nobel
let's really
Prize.
give them the honor that they deserve, and artists that truly deserve it, like true artistry.
Yeah.
That's my hope.
Maybe
Yeah.
there'll be
You
a
know?
new award show that pops up, like an indie
Yeah.
Grammys.
And I mean, the way people watch is different now. Like,
Streaming
podcasts
and
are the
everything.
new TV.
Yeah,
They are.
YouTube.
the daytime
Yeah.
TV, wasn't that what
What?
the Alex Cooper's documentary said? It's like podcasts are now the new daytime television.
It is, but
They
it
are.
is.
YouTube is crushing Netflix and Hulu and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about streaming a little bit and what do artists need to know about it?
Good luck.
Yeah.
What can
I
you
think
say?
Spotify will continue to go to court. I think Taylor was one of the first people to take them to court because she said, you guys owe me $500,000. And that was like 10 years ago. And that's like pennies to her. But she was still like, this is illegal.
principle.
Yeah, it's illegal. So you see the changes happening. And like we are in a world now where the music industry is changing every 5 seconds because we have the young generation coming in who have to take over. And I think that they do want to change it. So it's gonna change. It's gonna I mean, I remember, like, I won't say his name, but he used to produce for Britney Spears. And he told me back in 2011, all of the major labels will be gone. And he was saying in 5 years back then. So I'm just like, I'm just sitting here like, I can't wait to see what happens. Spotify is just as guilty as like Universal and all these people. Like, that's all I have to say about streaming. Like,
Let's hope and pray it gets better.
it will get better. Like, I have hope. I really do.
But it's going to get worse before it gets better.
It's, okay.
Let's cross our fingers and
Like,
say it's going to get better.
Let me ask
We're
you
in the
guys a
worst.
question.
Sure.
Do you guys think that when you go to your favorite artist's Spotify page and you look at those numbers, do you think those are real?
I question it. I also didn't know that the artist is the one that picks the top 5, or now it's top 10
You
on
do?
there. But
I use YouTube Music, so.
yeah,
But like a major label artist, like what type of music do you
So,
guys
like,
listen to?
You
Well-
mentioned Chapel Roan earlier.
Okay,
I
Chapel.
listened
Yeah.
to a song of hers, and I actually did happen to look at like the
numbers.
and it was like 52 million monthly listeners.
Well, actually, I follow this
2
pretty
monthly
closely.
subscribers.
as like I used to run trivia at a bar here, and you know,
Okay.
I'm a numbers guy,
facts.
so you know I know like Bruno Mars is the number one, like
Yes.
with like 150
Artist in the
plus, and I
world.
know for the longest time it was either Billie Eilish, The Weeknd, or Taylor Swift, like the number one, and then it was just like 80 million, 90 million was the top, and then they just kept getting like higher and higher. And there was like 111, like Billie Eilish's, but then, and there sometimes I'd look and I see The Weeknd was number 2, and so I kind of like do a little game and be like, okay, wait, who's number 1 right now? And I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, I looked it up, I cheated, and it was Bruno with like 40 million more monthly listeners than The
Yeah.
Weeknd, who had 115.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is like, I was just taking them as numbers, but I have to imagine there's some.
I mean, I have physically been in a room where a meeting was happening for a DJ whose name I will not say once again, and they were talking budget $40,000 to put towards playlisting.
Like
That is a bot. That is a purchased number we're talking about here.
for our music, what I do every time we release it is I put aside maybe like $100 to $200 to pitch to playlist people, and that'll, if we land on some of them, we'll get a couple thousand.
Well, I also feel like
but-
Spotify's algorithm is really rigged to make the rich richer.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
rich, speaking of just, you know, listens, however authentic they are, but it's like it is like literally driving you to like here you go, here it is, press play, listen to it,
Right.
enjoy.
Here's our song.
Yes.
Oh, it's here too, by the way. Oh, it's
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's being a politician. It's like, how do I get the money to be the governor? Like, literally, period. It's
Right.
insane.
If I'm a small artist and I want to start to get my music out there, I don't have a produced song I just play in the coffee shop, but you know, what is the best step for me to take? Because like anyone can produce a song in their bedroom.
Yep.
You can even go beyond that and have it become pretty darn close to radio ready without too much effort, you know. And you can put that on streaming with distro creator or TuneCore, whatever. But with streaming the way it is, like we were just talking about, like there's no hope just doing that. So like, what's the progression that you need to follow?
We have Zoom meetings all the time with people who are like, we love you guys' stuff, blah, 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 blah. And it's like credibility, okay? So if I'm an A&R and I'm looking for new, fresh talent, like I want to see their socials. I want to see their TikTok. I want to see their engagement. I want to see their Instagram, their YouTube. Like,
their dedication.
Unfortunately, like, that matters. So even if you only have one song, which is kind of like, if you sign to a major, a lot of those artists only have one single that's being pushed. But you go on their TikTok and it's like 2 million followers and they're doing lives every day and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, that's the world we're living in. Like, you have to be a sellable brand.
Right.
So it's like, if you don't want to do
they're
that,
gonna make more money from that artist, more not from her music, but from her brand.
And it just
general.
shows more dedication to like consistently be working on that. Like, just like, here's the music, here's this and this that we're gonna do for this one song.
and then for us, like, we're manifesting Big Hassle. Please, Jesus. We want to sign with Big Hassle for, like, as our booking agent and press, PR, all that shit. And we have to serve them the most gorgeous live show press kit that we can do. Like, we need to show them that we can have an amazing live show and sell tickets. So that's the second thing that I would suggest is, like, do you have footage of your live stuff? Because they just need to know, if I'm signing you, can you deliver? And are you going to be consistent and stay consistent? You know, like,
You just need to show your track record of that.
Yeah.
Really.
And I would also say definitely do just as many songs as you can, like, and as short amount of time. Like, just put them out there, get them done, get them perfect, and just put it out. Like, because the more content you have, the more songs, the more stuff you can.
More sellable.
Yeah, there's just the more of you out there. You know, it's like, oh, you didn't really like that one? Well, what else? You know, it's like, instead of just.
I'm the same way though. Like, we have this one company that is looking at us and they have tour hookups or whatever. And, like, I loved the meeting, but when I saw their Instagram, I was like the artists that they're posting, I'm like, oh God, like, I don't want, like, our stuff is like, we're coming with the fire. Like, we're working our asses off to,
And you
like,
definitely, like, you have an aesthetic that.
right. Yeah. And I
you
want to
care
be
about.
next to bands that look and sound great.
Sure.
Because we do. So it's like, what is your standard? You know, like,
And yeah, they're like a new label too, so it's like they have to have these, but whatever.
So I want to ask a question based on what you just said about, like, putting out as much music as you can in a short amount of time. So we had an artist on, a local guy, who he produces, writes, and does everything himself. And he's put out 5 albums in 5 years, 5 full albums, like full. And I've listened to a lot of them. We actually have one of them right there. And it's
Oh
like,
yes, it's a
oh,
really
gosh,
big
so much
wall,
work.
by the way, for people backstage.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists, they don't do that. Where, like, they get one song, they put it out, and then 4 years later they put out the next one. That's me.
yeah.
But where is the? Is there a balance? Is there a sweet spot? Is there, like, because?
I mean,
you're
go
gonna
off
have to
Queen
cut-
Okay, well,
Herbie's.
okay.
Queen Herbie's situation.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll bring up Queen Herbie in a second. She's a beast. For me personally, I'm like, is it a hit?
Well, it has to be.
Which is like, that can be like a jail cell to put yourself in. So, like, I don't recommend doing that, but I really do want it. I want to get chills and I want to know that it hits and slaps before we put it out.
And it's for each thing that you.
Every song, you know. It's like, oh, we're doing an 8-song, you know, EP or whatever. It's like, these 2 songs don't matter. It's just, I'm too programmed to be like, nah, it has to be so powerful and hit hard. So, like, for me as a writer, that is a little bit difficult because I don't want to just put anything out.
Right.
Sure. Well, and it's not like
Right.
it was 30 years ago when you have a 15-track album that you're going to cut to CD.
Yeah.
Where you have the 2 singles and then everything else is a filler, but people have to buy the album anyway.
Yep.
Right.
No, it's like you have the singles, but it's like, yeah, you definitely want to make sure they're as amazing and polished as you can do. Like, it's like she said, it has to hit it
Right.
to
But-
you. It has to be, yeah.
And you brought up Queen Herbie, who I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her. But
You probably heard some of her songs.
haven't, no.
Abracadabra, these bitches.
yeah.
If you've ever been on
She-
TikTok in 2022.
her and her husband Nick used to be known as Carmen. They were signed to a major. They were all over the radio, and they got screwed financially, so they left their deal. And Nick essentially turned her into Queen Herbie, her new persona. And during lockdown, she started releasing these 6-song EPs, like one after the other. And I'm like, are you guys on crack? How the fuck?
Yeah.
Just all this music started pouring out, and she immediately blew up. And they did everything out of their apartment downtown LA. Like, built it during lockdown.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn. I mean, most of us were going, fuck, I wish I had a Nick to like fucking do that for me. What the fuck? Like, and she really, you just saw the fan base skyrocket. And now on Instagram, you know, she has her little 2 million followers, but like, she's selling out her shows because those are her fans.
Right.
And it was beautiful to watch. It was like, this is the blueprint for an independent artist. They did the damn thing, and they stuck to it and committed, and it worked.
So it is quantity to a certain
Definitely,
extent.
I mean,
If
definitely
the
make sure
quality
it's
is
quality.
there.
Definitely make sure it's quality. But yeah, because we've been a band since, well, our first single came out on Halloween, so October 30th.
In 24? 2024.
Yeah,
so,
and then so since then we've done 5
Singles.
Yeah.
And it's like with those 5, we've been able to definitely grow quite a bit.
But we have
you
like
know.
20 songs that are unreleased.
Right, because they're not all well finished or hitting yet, and it's always just I think too it's spending time on each song once it's released too. It's like
Yes.
promote the hell out of it in every way you can. Like don't know how, like research it. People use ChatGPT because that shit works. And just like look up the best ways to market it out to anybody, you know.
And that is another thing to mention is I think the reason also why LA has such a big hype around like pop artists is because they really do dedicate their career to TikTok. And they, you know, you see the numbers on there, and I even know a couple girls that I can't believe their numbers, but they're like doing every trend, same part of the song, like, you know, 100 times in a row. And I'm just like, could never be me.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Like, you have to just decide that that's going to be your life.
You mentioned the artist that you just mentioned, Queen Herbie, and watching that that fan base grow during when they were getting after it during lockdown, and mentioning how like these are now her fans.
Yes.
What can you do, or how do you build like true fans? Because is it true that like 1,000 true fans is better than 10,000 listeners? And then,
absolutely.
All day.
Sure. And so what's the path to do that?
I feel like relatability is honestly something, because as a musician, I always loved the music and like, oh my God, how is he playing that? You know, but I feel like for people that aren't musicians, it's just like if they can see something in you, they just want to be a part of it somehow.
I think for me, immediately, I was like, what is the fandom? What do we call them? They're the Mortezians. Like, and we immediately decided, like, this is our coven. They are our family. And we already have, like, super fans that are like, I'm a Mortezian. You know?
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, and so that was definitely a part of what I wanted to do with it, is like, how do we get the fans to feel like they're a part of our family? So
you just like, it's building something fun, engaging for people to feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah.
I'm a big 21 Pilots fan.
Cool.
And they do that a lot with their fans, and they have like a whole story arc between multiple albums of like this fictional character and their state of mind, and they drop little Easter eggs on their Instagram, and for like their fans to like
Go find.
just go absolute nuts for, and like, what does this mean, and start deciphering it. And it's just, I think it just makes the person at home feel like they connect to something larger than life.
And they're a part of it.
And I will say, as a solo artist, I could never bring myself to do it. I could never bring myself to be like, these are the Rochelle Royale fans. Like, what the fuck? No.
Call them royalty.
But when
These are
this
people that
shit
stalk me
started,
on Instagram.
I was like, I will do every cringe thing possible to fucking build this family. Because once you believe it, like, once it really clicks for you and you truly believe it, it's like, be cringe. Just be cringe.
Because they are your family.
And
you know?
lean
Right.
into
It's
it.
like,
Yeah.
Right.
How has launching into this project and being a couple? I'm sure there's ups and downs, but how is that?
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I think
It's fantastic, but it has its ups and downs.
I am a lot. In a great way, because I think I came in like an effing hurricane.
Oh yeah, and I mean, she just saw what I could be,
Right.
and was just be like, you aren't anything like that right now. So,
But also on top of
Go do
that, it's like I lost my mom in 2009. Like I don't talk to my family. Like there's a lot of pain and heartbreak that I've been through, and he's had to be my rock. Like he's had to literally walk me through becoming a singer again and becoming an artist again, and like asking myself, like, can I repair my relationship with music? And he has been this like angel from God that it really feels like it's meant to be, that he's healing me and I'm giving him his own power too, like as an artist and composer, and
and you're healing me too.
yeah, and he's healing too. It's a lot of crying. I cry a lot. It's so hard, and these songs are so deep. Like the words are real, and it comes from like the pain, of everything I've been through. So I don't know. It's really fucking hard, but it's so worth it.
And I think it's better that we are a couple.
Yeah.
It just gives it, I don't know, a tinge.
Makes it extra special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, Brett, like, he is so empathetic and so compassionate and just gives me all of the love. And I don't think I would have been ready for that until this moment of my life. So it's just like, it's very rare to find a man like that in LA.
Sure.
Not in Reno, though, right?
It's because he's actually from Reno.
Right, that's why.
That's why.
That's why. Totally.
I was raised in the woods, damn it.
Yeah.
Are you originally from Los Angeles?
I'm from the Bay Area. Yeah.
Giants fan?
My cousin was a 49er, so
Okay.
I'm not.
Joel and I
isn't
just
Giants
have
baseball?
Dodger fan, Giants fan. So that's a
Okay,
dynamic.
I
We
don't.
just have like a big LA sports rivalry.
Okay,
between
got
us,
it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Ask.
Yeah, he's wearing a Giants hat right now, which is really
Yeah, they
hurting
score
me.
the goals, right? They
score the goals.
they kick the baskets.
touchdowns. Yeah. It's. I was actually fascinated to learn a little bit more about you. I grew up in LA, moved here in 2018. My first wife was actually, we met as songwriters first. Like we became friends because you have to be really, if you're writing songs and you want to write them well, you have to be extremely vulnerable and you have to trust each other. And so that was sort of like how that was the start of our relationship, because it's a very,
It's scary.
I'm
It can be
just- I'm
scary.
just- yeah, I'm
It can be
just
scary,
blanking.
especially
It's-
for a man, because
Sure.
men are like known for not wanting to talk about their feelings.
Just sing about
So,
them.
yeah.
yeah, but we have them.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
if you can trust each other enough and draw those things out, it can be a really beautiful thing. Yeah. But when you met, you weren't really interested in the music industry.
Oh my God. I was just like so done with it, And he was playing with musicians that were like in the scene, and I was just like, eye roll. Like, it's like the second I met everyone, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, the drugs, the drinking, like just, and also just being like famous big fish in a small pond type of vibe too. And not Brett, but just like that scene
I was just a
in
part of the
general.
scene.
Yeah.
And I had my podcast, and I was like having these women come on and like killing it and like being in our power. And I was really just on the other side of it, ready to walk away
But
from music altogether. And now it's like, this is like, hey, why don't you just move this narrative over here and allow yourself to be in this world and like create a new narrative and perspective with you and Brett around music.
Right.
Because I feel like, you know, if you are truly an artist, you owe it to yourself to try to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Even
No
if
matter
you've
what.
been through a lot
Yeah.
of pain.
Yeah. No. For sure.
I feel like another reason subconsciously why I would want to move here is to have accountability partners in his parents. Of like, okay, you guys are required to get one song done a week, and if you don't, here's the consequences. Like,
You're not invited to Sunday dinner.
right? Like,
Your
we
ham
need
is
to
going to
be
be cold.
yeah, like we need structure.
Here's a
And I
lettuce.
think when you're talking about management, I think, you know, be careful what you wish for, because if you do have a great manager, they're going to be on the phone going, yo, I asked for this yesterday.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
And you have to be ready to accept that responsibility, because
Yeah.
it is hard to push yourself to get on the mic and come up like, and here's another piece of advice for my own self is like, and we do this all the time, is just do a scratch vocal or just get the bones of the idea and then come back to it.
Yeah, sit with it for a while, you know, see if it like,
Which is what you're doing. But
'Cause,
now you
yeah.
need to stop sitting with it.
yeah, because if you sat with it long enough, it's done, it's good.
Yeah.
You haven't been like, oh, I should change this now on the 40th listen today.
Well, and that's an interesting thing too. So the artists I mentioned before that put out a lot of albums, they're fantastically done. But I know when you put out so much material yourself in a short amount of time, you're gonna have to maybe cut some corners, or like you have to just to physically get it out the door. So like perfectionism and
Yeah.
letting the art be what it is, and being confident in yourself to let it be what it is. Like
Art is human made. It's not
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
But those
And
are
it
all
never will
Well,
be.
some art is human made nowadays.
Right?
Not anymore. Mortez isn't real.
Oh, God.
We're cake. But yeah, definitely have to focus on the quality of it, like, because that's the thing too about like over quantity, is it's like you just like have those 6 albums and it's just, what do I promote? You know, do I promote
Yeah.
that? But it's like, I think, yeah, doing as much consistently as you can, like one song promotion for that month, next song,
And
the
not
next
letting it
month.
sit on the back burner for too long.
No.
But
yeah.
also what makes it magical, what you were saying about 21 Pilots, Queen Herbie does this too. I mean, Gaga, like...
I think it's just to
you know,
grow, and then once you've grown,
No, I'm saying, like, what is the concept? Like, conceptual albums are so fun for the fans. Like, what is the story arc? Like, how can they...
Side
Yeah.
of the moon.
Yeah, like, how can they... Like, is it a video game for them to, like, jump in and be a character in your world? Like, make it... And Queen Herbie was so good at that because she was talking straight to you, and all the messaging in there was, like, about your life and you coming in to join her. And so I think that's important too. Now that we have the Mortezian Coven, it's like we really want the songs to be like a story arc.
Yeah, well, it makes people reflect and like really think, and I think that's what makes them connected to it. You know, there's just it's just larger than life, and that's why I'm an albums guy. I don't
Yeah.
like singles. I'm just kind of traditional where I love listening to the album from start to finish because like that's how the artist intended for you to hear it. You hear those like
rare.
random cutoffs on songs if you're just listening to them in singles and you're like, well, that was kind of weird. But then when you let it bleed into the next song and it continues at the start of track 5, whatever, you're like, oh,
That was meant
I
to
see
be
it. It's a
on that way.
timeline now. There's continuation on it, and that's what. Because I love collecting vinyl, and you have like the physical artwork in there, and then you're hearing track 1 bleed into track 2, bleed into track 3, and there's
This is the perfect segue into our live show because I think what's so cool for Brett and I right now is the way that we built the show. It's like we're listening to our first album.
that's
And it's
really cool.
Yes. And
Yeah,
so
because
it's
it's
like
all one thing. It bleeds
Yeah.
into the next songs, and it all flows out until it starts to the end.
But in between each song, we're talking to the Mortezians. So there's this huge, like, Lord of the Rings voiceover. Yes, with, like, strings, like, the way you composed the music with these voiceovers. And we're just fucking them up, like talking to them about like becoming a part of us and like how amazing their lives are going to be once they surrender to the fucking universe and like you have always been the answer. Like it's just, you know, it's like that metal cringe shit that people die for. Like, and with the runway, and we're going to have dry ice and like the trellis, and
We have a little flower girl.
we have a little flower girl. The dress code is all black, and little Paisley is 7 years old, and her mom like has
You
this
can't go now, Joel. Sorry.
full on
He has no black in his
I have black shorts on right now. What are you talking about?
go to
wear a
Target.
shirt.
No, we'll give you a Mortez shirt because we're gonna have shirts. We're gonna have merch. Everyone's gonna be dressed in black, but little
That's
Paisley is opening the show in this like long black gown, her long little blonde hair, and like her flowers.
Little black roses.
And it's like, is it a funeral? Is it a wedding? We don't know, but like we're here for it. Like it's just
So
gonna be
cool.
so fun.
That's way awesome.
And very of our aesthetic. And he's like, that's something I think, all artists, if they have one, just be in it as hard as you can.
And look how long we've been working on singles. And for the first time for you and I to look at each other and be like, holy shit, we're building the world tour. Like, that's what this is. It's like we get to video Remember When. Mm-hmm. This is the making of.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
How the music that you make with that Mortez is, how is that compared to your previous music? Is it something completely new? Is this like everything in your life up to this point's been building here? Like,
For me, yes.
okay, so another story, and you can like tell some of it because, but when we were just dating, we went on a hike, and I had a witchy playlist, and put it on in the car, and after the third song, he was like, "Wait, this is the shit you're obsessed with?" He's like, "Oh, like this is."
That's what I specialize in.
Yeah, like I want to do like theater fetish fantasy, like let me just do like compose something, and that's how Prey was born.
Yeah, because I was a metalhead in Reno, and then I went to LA to study composition for films, and so I studied in orchestras and orchestrations and writing for those things, and then being in LA for the 8 years after school, I just learned how to do all the pop songs and play on all the live stuff, and so it's mixing all three of those elements, and then it's like having such a badass singer, and it's just like
right.
It was such a release for him. And I think for me, it's like I've been every girl. I think a lot of us, like millennial girls, had we had blonde hair, we had black hair, we were Britney, we were Christina. Like and then from there, Tony discovered me through Ace, and he's a Swedish producer who was working with Mutt. So I went
Def
from
Leppard.
I went from like pop to like Def Leppard rock album, and that took up 4 years of my life. After that, it was like you have to like not want to die. You have to get over the fact that you were dropped and like decide if you're going to keep going. And I got like signed by this film director who wanted me to do this like witchy, like more goth girl shit, like pop rock. So like this girl has always been in there. Like the element of Lady Mortez has always been a part of my shit, but it's never clicked. This is beyond what we thought we could do. Like Sirens, I can't get over it. Like it hits my soul so hard because truly it's like, yeah, maybe I have like 3 or 4 songs where I'm like, those could have been Grammy winners. but like my soul, the way that my body is reading our music is like, you finally hit the zeitgeist. Like you have arrived. Like you guys are finally like figuring it out. So I don't know. It just feels different in your body.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful.
It's an emotional peak for us both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to figure out how to sing without crying.
We're getting there.
But even if you do though, it's
Oh God, no. No crying on Saturday. No crying on Saturday. No.
Just the one tear.
But I think a lot of artists can relate to like, who am I as an artist? Like, who are you? Especially if you started early, like I did. There was a lot of fads and a lot of like, you know,
Oh yeah.
oh, I can do that. Oh, I can be that. And then you kind of copy what the sound is at the time, which is
Right.
Yep, I did the same thing. I was just like, oh, I'll just be everything else before I go back to who I actually am.
and it would suck to have a huge record deal and have the pressure of putting songs out, and you're either in pop or R&B or whatever, and it's
that's
like,
not you.
and it's not you.
Right.
So, and that happens all the time.
And then there are pop artists like Miley, for instance, who are just like, I'm not pop anymore. Oh, wait, yes, I am. And they go right back to it, kind of a deal.
Well, everyone's been doing the country thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I think Post Malone is just a big music nerd in general.
Yeah.
He actually genuinely just loves any music out there.
and
I
that
wouldn't
being
consider him a country artist, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
I
an
think he
artist.
just actually,
Yeah.
I think he's just an artist and just loves.
And I think that should be celebrated, because I do know that when I first arrived to LA, the narrative was like, all of your songs have to be cohesive, and you can't be this singer or that singer. You need to be this person so that they understand and get it. You know, but I do think that it is being more widely accepted for a pop singer to be able to do whatever genre they want.
Right.
I mean, why not?
How do you maintain your enthusiasm and motivation to stay consistent?
I think that's why we're mixing it up. I think, you know, we did the LA thing, and now it's time to kind of like be in a new environment to build the show, and then we'll leave again. So I think it's kind of like hopping around and just keeping it.
So you find the right energy.
No, I think it's just like for
Just
always. Like,
changing
let's keep
flowing.
traveling, and like, you know, he even talked about moving to the UK for a little bit.
Okay.
And also, yeah, as a composer, that's like instilled into you, is it's just like your opinion on that thought of, oh no, deadlines can't exist. So it's like you just, as a composer, that has to be something you get over.
Right.
I think also, like, I have severe ADHD, and I need to have a reward system. I procrastinate, and then the fear of not getting it done will like help me to the finish line usually, but I don't want to keep living like that. So, you know,
so we can eat a nice little dinner after you finish this verse.
right, like, what is my reward? You know,
Yeah,
it's like I had such an emotional day today, but then he went to the mall and got me pink sweats, and he came home and he's like, we're gonna do the podcast, and then guess what? You can come home and wear your sweats. And I'm like, yay! Like, almost
Good man,
like,
Britt.
yeah,
Good man,
like
yeah.
you have to be childlike and be playful with life, because for people like me who are perfectionists and we're so like hard on ourselves, it's like you gotta relax a little bit and just what is it called? Surrender and let the flow of the universe
Yeah.
take you.
I resonate with that a lot because I too have ADHD, and I didn't find out for a long time in life. And now I'm just, Joel and I we had a nice talk yesterday, or a
little heart to heart.
a little heart to heart, and
You were over there.
Was that?
You were on the side of the table.
yeah, we were just like, let's record it and get but I just like realizing how much like anxiety and ADHD is like controlled
The list
so
of
much
symptoms.
of my life that I had no idea. And it's like, now I'm kind of coming to that aha moment now. And yeah, you just gotta like, some things you just have to let out of your control. Like you
Right.
can't, you're only doing yourself a disservice by holding on to it. And it's hard, but
It's true though.
it's better once you learn that too. Like
Yeah.
every aspect of your life.
ADHD, there's like such a long list of symptoms and how it can affect your daily life. And I think we just need to keep learning. I mean, the world is shifting and changing, and humans
So
are starting.
fast
Yeah.
now.
I mean, we care.
Exponential rate. It's crazy.
Like, it's the conversation for a 20-year-old now is like anti-aging. Are you neurodivergent? Like the TikTok videos about your nervous system. It's like, that's what they want to talk about.
And are
like,
you paying for your Amazon or Whole Foods with your hand yet? Or have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it must just be an LA thing. There's a bar that you can scan your hand and pay for
What, just
stuff at
reading
Whole
your-
Foods.
your
It's like has
print?
something in you like get,
Oh, that's scary.
yeah.
We've been chipped. Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
We've been using AI a lot to help us out, and it's been really really helpful. But at the same time, it's also a little scary too.
Oh, totally.
Just knowing like what it can
Is
become, like what it's going to become. But it has been really helpful, and it's just how you use. They're tools, you know.
I mean, it's like a
is
DAW.
money's not evil. Money is a piece of paper. It's what money makes certain people do and behave. Like it's, you know.
I mean, yeah, it's like simple for musician people. It's like auto-tune. Are you going to sound like T-Pain or are you just going to nice and soften it up, you know?
Right.
Just depends on how people use it.
Also, I would like to add really quickly, Miley Cyrus has been talking about why she does not want to tour anymore. And I think that that's a super important conversation.
I've not heard about this, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's too long of a conversation. Like, go
We could have a
watch
whole
the
podcast,
interview.
like on this topic
Yeah.
itself.
You can
But
have a part two.
same with athletes, musicians need to be taken care of. And like your mental,
Oh, yeah.
the mental health aspect is just,
It's like it's just a celebrity status in general.
oh my God. And so finally she's like, look, it's unhealthy. She's like, I'm not friends with any of the new girls, like Sabrina Carpenter. She's like, but I just hope that she's okay.
Yeah.
Doing
Because
all
she's
those
like, I saw
cities.
Sabrina, fly from Germany to like fucking Wisconsin and in one day and do 2 shows. And she's like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
Right.
And for Miley to be saying that, like, good, nice work, girl. Like, for
Yeah.
her to come out and be honest about that. So,
That is rad.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think some of the big changes across music are going to be in the next 5 or 10 years?
People are going to jail and they're going to die. And then Gen Z is going to fix it.
Woo! Let's go.
Amen. And so it is.
Come on, my Gen Zers out there.
It sucks because the world was different. The 90s and Y2K, like, it was the
Yeah.
Wild West. And it really sucks for everyone that participated. Because it's, I mean, I don't want to say it's not their fault, but
We're all victims of the previous generations.
Yeah.
those parties caught a lot of strays. You know what I mean? I was invited to a few, and I'm just like, damn, thank you, God, that
Dodge
you know?
that.
Yeah.
Because it's like you want to make it, and people will fucking do whatever it takes. And now they're all going down, and it's like, damn.
I felt the straw that broke the camel's back with me moving to Reno was I was here like interviewing for some jobs. The first time I was like really in town, still considering on the fence of moving here or not. And I walked into a Starbucks, like just to grab a coffee before an interview. And I held the door open when I was walking in for like this middle-aged lady. She bought my drink. Just like,
Wow.
and I was like floored.
Oh, here?
Here.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like,
I was like, wait, you were saying what broke for LA. That is not
no,
LA.
this was here in Reno.
Wait,
And
she
that
didn't
would-
like yell at you for being whiter than she was or something?
Well, that's my point.
Yeah,
It's
that
like,
sounds more LA to me. Like, was this a sugar mama from LA?
No, it was-
the Housewives
it was
of One
just like-
City.
Oh, damn, I'm buying this man coffee.
Yeah, that's
Then
what
she
it
took you
sounds
home
like.
and
So
wasn't a
we-
woman all the time.
but that's happened. Like, it's sort of a thing here where you're in a coffee drive-through and
Yeah.
you pay it forward or whatever
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
And like that was so foreign to me. And that was sort of the like, man, I just want to get out of the fakeness
Yeah.
of the scene down there. And I don't know, has that played at all into your thought process of like maybe
I
being
mean-
around some genuine folks?
Yeah.
I mean, when we're in LA, I'm like, Brett,
don't even go
don't say hi
places.
to people. What are you doing? And he's like, that's how I grew up.
Just wave to
They're
people
gonna
walking and
kill
she's like,
us.
what are you doing? It's like,
And then even today, like, we went to Sprouts and everyone's like, have a great day. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's Pleasantville. It's such a different world.
well, Pleasantville's actually down.
Right. Exactly.
It's like triggering an opposite reaction. Like, oh my God, people are too nice here. Let's get out.
Right, like,
Like, yeah, in my backpack right now, I have a hot pink taser, a pink alarm and a black alarm. And that's because I have been in LA for too long. It's wild shit.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, the fakeness and awful.
Yeah.
It's also just like the scene I was in. There's just like their little hierarchies, and they just think they're the shit, you know. And it's just like you play the same gigs everybody else does.
Yeah.
But just like more people know you, and that makes you better than us.
And it's refreshing to hear, and I think the scene
It's really
here,
refreshing to hear people wanting to move here for purposes of music. Like,
Yeah,
that's,
the scene
that's really awesome.
Starting this, we've learned that the scene here is actually pretty healthy. It has so much more, like, it could be so much more than it is. But
That's what we're here for.
there's it's primed. It is primed to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Especially recovering from. I mean, it's 5 years at this point, but the pandemic. You said you were a metalhead up here, but like the punk scene has survived the underground. But like the pandemic kind of decimated a lot of this underground stuff because people couldn't gather. But it's ready to come back.
Yeah.
You know, and
It killed the businesses, but not the true fans that still reside here wanting it back.
And just, you know, we've had such an amazing response from just doing what we're doing. There is a lot of, like, people want to see good live music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really talented local artists that we want to give them motivation to continue.
Yeah.
And an avenue to continue.
And I mean, that's why in 2016 I moved to LA, because I
Right.
wanted more, like, better live music, more.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, because it's
bring
just
it
right
here,
there up
you
in
know?
front for you. I feel like, you know, we were talking about the local up and coming musicians not knowing where to go. I kind of feel like that's with like just music fans in general, wanting to go to concerts, wanting to go to shows. Like, it's just not publicly advertised here. And there's a lot
As
of
well.
last minute add-ons. Like Greta Van Fleet came 2 weeks prior notice. Complete add-on from their original tour. Jack White came to town, and I knew a lot of people who were like, I didn't even hear about that. You know, and it's just like, Reno's so small where it's like, how is this not like, whether you're going or not, how is this not buzzing through? And like, Reno's such a town where it's just like, you tell your friends, and then that spreads, and then that spreads. So it's really just like helping people who love live music, just giving them a platform too. Like, here's an all-in-one. It can be a little overwhelming. A lot of the businesses here that do music are smaller, and maybe like the business owners don't know how to run their Instagram account on a consistent
Right.
basis. So then that's the people who are going to the shows, and then they're not seeing it from the business side. So it's like, well, I don't know. Maybe they do live music. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But it's just like Reno's just pockets of communities, which is good. Like, diversity is good, but there just needs to be something to come and like help mesh them together and like look what's over here if you want to try this out, and instead of being so like
instead of
pocketed
what's
and
on the Hilton
separated.
billboard.
Yeah.
Something too I've noticed, being a business owner, a small business owner here, there's a really good community around business owners in town.
is, yes.
Very supportive of each other. And I think the same thing is true with musicians and and bands and artists. People kind of root for each other and are willing to work together and collaborate if they can get connected in those ways.
Right.
What, for people that are just now finding out about your show on the 21st, what can they expect when they come?
Wear black. It's a ceremony. You're going to be
Inducted
yes
into the Mortezian coven.
It's your initiation. So we're signing contracts in blood. Like, prepare yourself.
Dang, I might want to call in sick now. I'm enjoying this. And wearing black for me is very easy.
You're doing it now.
Yeah, and just surrender to the magic. Like, we're here to manifest our dream life, and we want the Mortezians to live their dream life too. And so when you come to our show, we're just reminding you that you can do it. You can manifest whatever you want.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You
What
can
is-
do it.
You can do it.
What's on the horizon for Mortez? What's a little bit of a look into the future?
I think
More
the UK.
music.
Yeah.
More music, definitely.
And then going to the UK.
Just trying to get all around the
We're
world.
going to get new passports and our performance visas and go overseas. But yes, here you guys have a great thing happening. This is a great location. So
Appreciate
much
that.
potential, and I feel it. I feel the energy. It's like it's
Well, it's been amazing talking to people because, like, there's such a drive, but it's like people don't necessarily know where to go, and what really all we want to do is we just want to see the live music scene thrive,
Yeah.
and grow, and we want Reno to be a town that people want to put on their tour,
Yeah.
and. So if there's something we can do to help bring people together, to maximize attendance at shows, that's why we're bringing you in. We want, hopefully we'll have this up tomorrow, so we have a couple days, for people to become aware that you're here. Because I guarantee you, there's so many people that would come to your show that just don't know you're here.
Right. Yeah.
And so, like, that's just what we're trying to do.
So join the coven, you guys. Join us on your favorite platform. Like if it's TikTok, it's Mortez Music.
If it's YouTube, it's Mortez Music.
If it's Instagram, it's Mortez Music.
However, on Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, any of those things, it's Mortez.
Yeah. And Twitter is Mortez Music Inc.
If anybody's still on X.
Which, by the way, one of the biggest music supervisors in the world, shout out Jen Malone,
What's up, Jen?
followed us on Twitter and retweeted our shit. So,
Sweet.
Well, congratulations, by the way,
Thank
too.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming
Yes,
on.
thank you for
It's been
joining.
amazing hearing your guys' story.
Get a little bit of it.
Thank you for sharing.
We'll have
too.
a part 2 when you guys are back.
Sounds
oh
good.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, too. We'll tell you
you.
how the UK is.
Yeah, thanks for sharing too, just insights and experiences in the industry. And I was really happy that multiple people we've had on have been willing to share those things. And I think that's really admirable. And a lot of artists, I think, could learn a ton. from it.
Yes.
And hopefully you can save a couple people from
Yeah.
a
Yep.
lifetime of heartache.
Yeah, because the trade secrets
Get
shouldn't be
some,
secrets.
Lifelong fans too.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah. Mortezians, shout out.